Thank you for tuning in to the Bud & Roach Show.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're live. Well, not live. We're actually. I mean, we're live right now.
We're live now.
And he's getting live.
I'm always getting live.
Turn up.
King of beers. Everything's going great. I'm in the best place in the world right now, sitting next to two cool cats.
Yeah, PineBox, man.
We're at the best bar. It's one of my favorite bars in the world, PineBox Rock Shop.
I love this place.
So,
Bushwick, baby.
This place,
it's good to be back,
you know,
man.
there are a few. There are only two bars that really I can admit I love. Well, three I'll say that I love as much as I love this place.
Smith's
Smith's
and Hurley's.
Hurley's, and Taco. And those
Taco
are old,
Taco.
And those are all bars.
I never even been to any of those.
Taco is the place where
The other two are in the
first
city.
bar I
Taco's
got
in
into.
the north side.
first bar I ever got into, they would let me in there when I'm not gonna say
Karaoke.
they'll get in trouble, but
Boy, he was singing again?
yeah.
It's a day that we're all kind of looking forward to, and a shitload of people have contacted us. Big shout out to our boy Lou, who's gonna be calling in too, because he's an actual wrestler. This motherfucker wrestles and shit. But
Glad he's on our side. What's up, Lou? What's up, buddy?
Classic wrestling, like I was telling Bud before, last night I was flicking through the channels and I stumbled upon SmackDown, and I kept going back and forth between that and Law & Order, and about 50% of the entire broadcast was talking, and it was talking between people that I didn't even know these people anymore. What era of wrestling would you feel is the classic era of wrestling for you?
The era was and for always and ever will be. All I have to say is the Express. And when I say the Express, I mean right around when Rocky III came out. I think we could all remember when Hulk Hogan and Mr. T were tag team partners.
Ah, man.
My family owns a beautiful little family grocery store in New Haven, Connecticut. And they used to have this wonderful little pizza shop. And anyone that eats pizza knows New Haven makes the pizza properly. New Haven, Hamden, the whole nine. But that's another deal. But
go out there, check out the pizza.
Used to be a place. Well, it's no longer around. It was around when I was a little kid. But a lot of the guys like Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart, Mr. T, Hulk Hogan, once in a while used to frequent this spot. And I was lucky enough as a kid to live right next. My family had the business next door. So we go into Gabrielle's, and the first time I saw Hulk Hogan, I think like Shaka Khan was like
jeez.
That song Shaka Khan, let me rock it Shaka Khan. Like, I think that was like, I was like yay high, I think, man, but that was it. It's all about what age you are or what chapter of your life you're in when your hero's on screen. Mr. T's not going to be everybody's hero now. But he was definitely something else.
He went off the deep end for a while.
Yeah. We all do.
Yeah, everybody
But
goes
he's
around
back
tracks for a little bit.
Big shout out to Mr. T and all his amazing jewelry. But we had a few wrestling fans on the show.
Mm-hmm.
One being Evan Ginsberg. And Evan Ginsberg is one of, like, when you think of his show is about wrestling. Like he's the one that put me on the radio. He gave me my first interview. This was fucking years ago. It was like 5 years ago. Shit. And his show's primarily based around wrestling. So he gets all these different. You got old guys, you got new guys coming in. He actually manages a couple of Hall of Famers. Like, they're doing stand-up comedy now. Mick Foley's doing fucking stand-up comedy in Long Island and shit. So these guys obviously do other things. But when we speak to Evan Ginsberg, I don't think that the classic era for him was when he was young, because he still watches this shit.
It's a valid point, but I think that's actually a great point. I just think that when you have that, I could guarantee that this gentleman who you speak of doesn't have. Well, maybe he does. I don't want to speak on any other man, but I know that personally, I have a portion of the childlike innocence I had when I was growing up. You know what I mean? Like,
still got a little bit.
I don't know if I'd go in my buddy Jay Montana's closet now, build a fort with some turnbuckles and some things like that. I could still appreciate the sport. I could appreciate the athletes involved in the sport. But there's that one thing where your childhood hero is your hero, and I don't think that any man will tell you, like, he could say, Adrian Peterson is a phenomenal running back, phenomenal football player, if not the best. But Walter Payton and me will always be Walter Payton. So I don't there's a little bit of both. It's a give and a take, if it, so to speak. I don't know how you feel about that, but
It'd be like with me with King Griffey. Like, I mean, you talk about everybody now, but for me, it's always going to be King Griffey and Barry Bonds. Even though Barry Bonds is a fucking cheater. He was my favorite baseball player.
I forgot he does not hold back.
Yeah, this is uncensored.
This is uncensored for
He's a
sure.
cheater, but he's my favorite baseball player. I have no shame in that. One of the sweetest swings in the history.
Absolutely.
All right, so we've lived through many different eras of wrestling, and we, especially me and you, we've watched wrestling together since we was
I
fucking
remember
babies.
Monday nights, bro, flipping, it was like 8 o'clock from 8 to 9. It was Nitro, 9 o'clock.
The Monday
It was
Night
straight
War.
to Raw.
I
Commercials flipping back and
disengaged
forth.
at that point
You
in
was
my
already
life.
out?
I was done, man. Once I grabbed like Sensational Sherry's left breast when Ultimate Warrior was fighting Sergeant Slaughter in a steel cage match, I kind of reached the pinnacle of being a kid, and then I just kind of gracefully bowed out. Not to say I don't still, appreciate it, but it's just the way it is for me.
See,
Anyway.
but those times were great times in wrestling. Because if you look back, I saw the new wrestling game is coming out, WWE 14, and in the commercials, Ultimate Warrior.
Yeah.
And it's him. It's the same dude, everything. And this guy, if you followed wrestling the way we follow wrestling, you know the background stories behind some of these wrestlers.
How many times the Ultimate Warrior died and was not dead or whatever?
Yeah,
because
like
I never really got the true answer to that.
He was getting fired all the time.
Yeah.
And they had to mask it as the Ultimate Warrior's death because nobody could kill the Warrior and shit like that. But this guy who's actually...
Wow, it sounds like the political system. But we won't get into that.
But then you have matches like The Rock versus Stone Cold. Like The Rock versus Mankind, the I Quit match. Remember that shit?
Oh my God. What was Royal Rumble? 99 or 2000? When he beat the nigga, when
See,
they,
I
I
He
can't lie, I was
when he
kind of
beat him
still on the
with his
outskirts.
son- with his son.
It's something you don't really let go
the
of
one
when
that
you
was
walk
in
and you see
that was in
something
the
like that.
documentary when Mankind's family was sitting ringside and they had to get his kids out of there because his kids was crying.
That was a brutal.
It was
brutal
beyond the
fucking
mat, right?
match.
Beyond the ring, beyond the mat.
Beyond the mat.
When they showed him, like he got beat senseless, and his kids was right there ringside, and it was just balling. It was terrible to watch, man, because he took an inordinate amount of fucking brutality throughout the course of his career.
And that was new
most of them do.
for WWF.
Yeah,
Because it was ECW that really set the bar when it came to extreme shit, man.
yeah.
What era of wrestling you think is the greatest?
The greatest for me, man, is always gonna be the Attitude Era, without doubt, man. It was because you could see the shift in what wrestling went from to what it became. It went from it was always raunchy, crazy, but it just got taken up that extra notch, and you connected. Like you didn't have the old superstars of yesterday. You had the new people that were meshing with the kids, with the younger generation. But you still had some of the older people who still liked them.
How do you feel, not to interrupt you, but how do you feel that is directly correlated to consumerism and sex and violence and the way that became the epicenter of kind of everything as the transition was made? I miss when kids used to go out and play. Like when kids were playing, Foursquare, or they were playing Hulk Hogan, or whatever. It was depressing for me making that shift in my life, growing up as a kid and saying Hulk's bad, like the Hulkster is bad now.
It wasn't adjustment.
Like
it wasn't adjustment seeing how it wasn't even Hulk Hogan anymore. It was Hollywood
Hogan, so
that
it
was.
So you see, like they were relating to kids, but I don't think that the relation to kids ever really deviated. I think that the norm was kind of solid. It was kind of straight line. Like maybe the kids were changing.
I think that's
but
what
the
it
message was changing.
As times changed, the message had to change with it.
Just like technology.
Just like now. Now you have all these gimmicks. You have I remember watching Raw a few years ago, and it was like you choose what they do if it's a match. If they have a contest or something, like it was a text
lot
and
of
shit.
different shit.
And they ended up having like a dance contest in the ring.
Excuse me.
Because that's what the fan poll
I've
showed.
seen, they
And
got
I
a
was
lot of
like,
stupid
at that
shit
point,
now.
For me, it was like I saw that and it's like, yeah, I'm done with Vince McMahon and wrestling altogether at that point.
But this was the main thing for me was the fact that, like you said, the sex, the drugs, all that shit that became a part of the storylines. At that point in wrestling, it happened naturally, and it happened out of competition. It happened when Eric Bischoff beat Vince McMahon in the fucking ratings. They had to do whatever they had to do to get the crowd back. So it wasn't like they got in a meeting and just wanted to fucking put all this shit.
He let all those guys go.
They wanted to fucking beat the competition. Now you look at wrestling, and it's sexy for no reason. Now half of the fucking thing is just people in the ring, like you said, it's fucking dance contests and
It's
shit.
opera.
bro.
Like-
It's a sports opera now.
Then you see the you see like not even to be serious. I'm all about it, man. Like it was violent when I was growing up. It's still like it is what it is. But I don't think kids have that superhero to hold on to as much as they did. I mean, it could be, a Cena. It could be The Rock. It could be this. It could be that. It could be. But it used to be a little bit, clean and like more genuine.
Hogan represented good.
He really did. He really did.
My brother, you eat your vegetables, you don't eat your vitamins, minerals.
That's
you know
what it
my
was
little
about before.
Hulkamaniacs out there.
And now The Rock, he represents sex.
And as most things do. I just don't think there's enough left to like the imagination. But here I am talking about like I'm the one, my sister's old boyfriend like reached out and I didn't mean to grab like Sensational Sherry or whatever, but it just happened. I was a little kid, I was like 7, 8 years old.
Hey man, but you got to hold that titty, so hey.
I'm wise beyond my years. I
And
guess.
you still remember it to this day.
I do.
Like that shit.
But there was
you
I think that there was like and there still is that novelty, but I think it becomes like, I mean, you remember like I'm not to deviate from wrestling, but just boxing, wrestling, any kind of sport in any arena. You hold on to like you see a Bulls symbol, you think of Jordan, you think of Pippen.
Yeah.
There's just these things that you mentally kind of gravitate to.
I think if people see the WWE logo now, they don't think about Sheamus or The Miz. Or
You
shit
think
like
think the
that.
guys why that
the
logo
classic
got
people.
changed? You think there's a reason why that logo got to like that? You think The Rock? You think Stone Cold? You think
It's like,
DX?
fuck, man.
You don't think
it
those guys.
became more like same. I mean, not to keep comparing, but now you see like the super teams in basketball. You see the
That
super
is
teams in
precisely
baseball.
it.
You see the super it was like, wow. Imagine if. Remember when they made that shift, like when Hulk Hogan became Hollywood Hogan, and then you became, do I like the bad or do I like the good? Like the good wasn't selling as much.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a conglomerate. It's a huge, huge, huge revenue driving conglomerate, and people want
the bad guy.
They do want
There
the
has to
bad
be a
guy.
bad guy.
But I'm sitting here telling you, I kind of missed the good guy.
No,
I kind of missed the good guy.
Shit.
Even they even had the good like the bad good guys. Like Stone Cold.
But that's the point.
Stone Cold
The
was
bad good guy.
Yeah.
The Hollywood Hogans. The
just-
Stone Cold. The same dynamic. They want to see the shift. They want to see you, walk a tightrope.
I feel
between
bad for
It
the
affects everything.
the classic wrestlers that are still in the game. That I don't want to blast them. I was reading on the Undertaker the other day. The Undertaker's 21-0 at WrestleMania. His wins don't mean shit anymore. His wins don't mean anything. They don't mean what they used to mean. Fucking King of the Ring '94, Undertaker versus Undertaker, Paul Bearer's Undertaker versus Ted DiBiase. That's a match I'm gonna remember till I'm fucking dead, bro.
Shit,
I don't
first
see
Hell in a
Undertaker.
Man,
Cell
I was
match.
always the cat to say Virgil and Ted DiBiase. I don't think Virgil got the attention that he deserved, right? That dude that was like his
Because
sidekick, right?
no, it was a angle based on slavery. It was a rich dude with a bald black dude behind him, following him everywhere.
So what'd your boy just say?
It's the truth.
That is like pure fucking. It was a slavery angle.
we
Just
brought
no
it up.
Cutting that a different way.
But didn't he pop him in the head eventually? Didn't Virgil like pop DiBiase in the
I think
face or something?
eventually, and then he went solo in WCW, and then he ended up joining
God.
NWO. He was part of NWO.
You
Which
know what was
like
always exciting for me growing up though was Ricky the Dragon coming off the rafters. I always thought that shit was
classic
stupid.
moments.
Stupid.
Superfly Jimmy Snuka,
Oh
like
man, when
off the
Shawn,
top of the
when
cage.
Shawn Michaels came down on the WrestleMania.
When Mankind got thrown off the top of the Hell in
Oh
a
my
Cell.
When
God.
Hacksaw Jim Duggan literally licked off his entire side of his face.
Characters nowadays, they're not memorable, man. They're not memorable.
Nah, man. When John Cena is the most memorable of an era.
Randy Orton was fighting a dude yesterday for the championship, and I had no idea who this dude was. It was like a Mexican dude. It literally was a Mexican dude dressed in gold. Alberto Del Santo, some shit like that.
Del Rio, Del Toro.
I'm like, what the fuck?
You used to have I don't know. Do you think you guys ever had a choice on who to like, or do you think the choice was made for you?
Nah, you always had a choice, man.
Like, but do you think that the way that it was targeted, like, do you think the way that it was portrayed and the way that it's like you're saying, oh, you know, Undertaker's wins don't mean anything anymore? Maybe for, you know, an old school, awesome, loving Undertaker dude, those wins mean everything. They obviously mean something because you were like, he's 21-0. So you weren't saying at 19 and 0 or whatever.
I think they stopped meaning something at 18, where he's only wrestling WrestleMania. Like, he's not wrestling the whole year anymore. It's just WrestleMania at this point.
He's obviously paid his dues, but what I mean when I say that his wins don't mean anything, they're not going in the records of the minds of wrestling fans. He's not wrestling the people that he used to wrestle. He's wrestling young bucks who he's training to take over his spot. He's old already. He's an old dude. It's like Ric Flair. It's like
Triple H is old. He's got.
But at the same time,
but I think that the wins keep the legacy going in a way, and I think that like by him fighting these young bucks that are coming up or whatever, I'd much rather come up, you know, under a legend and a legacy and keep that going rather than come up under some, you know, dude wearing a star on his face or something, like, you know what I mean?
Slap
like
dick.
Some slap dick
Some
wrestling.
young buck.
Some
young jock.
Some slap dick who doesn't know the first thing, and you end up hurting yourself.
Teddy Turnbuckle or something.
Like that dude, The Miz. That dude, The Miz, was on fucking The Real
The
World.
Miz, oh my God.
He was
Like,
on
I still
Real
don't
World.
get how that happened.
Oh, yeah.
That's how bad wrestling got. That a guy who had the Professor's Love on a TV show and for years ran around with this gimmick. It eventually got bad enough that Vince had to hire him.
I don't want to be the guy to always challenge here, but you remember when Macho Man first expressed his love to Elizabeth? Everyone was salivating in front of the TV screen. It's the same old game. It's the same bunch of fucking corporate motherfuckers that are running everything, that are running the marketing bullshit, that tag everything down, so you really kind of don't have a choice. It's funneled.
Yeah.
That's why I chose to stop believing everything that comes through that TV screen. But that's a whole nother story. I thought we were going to keep it light, but I can't. Damn it. I tell the truth.
I'm going to go back to Undertaker for a second. You know what I think it was? Back in the day, these wrestlers were wrestlers. Now, these wrestlers are celebrities. You see them at events. You see them out of character a lot. So now, it's not the same. Undertaker doesn't have the same effect on the fans now that he did when you was growing up, because back then, wrestling was larger than life. Now, it's just that thing on UPN9.
It's the same thing as
or CW.
As any facet of entertainment. You know, you become a caricature of yourself. Like, you become this thing. Like, Hulk Hogan's kids are with him out. He still has to do this. He still has to do this. But there's more passion when he body slams Andre the Giant and then he goes like that. Yeah. But then the novelty wears off because you become a caricature of yourself. So you have to now, when do you turn off the button of entertainer and turn on the button of
self,
being self, or being you?
Being
and some people
human.
don't know. Some people don't know how to cross that line. They're always
Ric Flair. We've got firm authority that Ric Flair goes around his gated community in his robe drinking white wine, doing the whole Ric Flair.
Woo! On people's property, on people's lawns.
I would totally. My heart would crumble and my face would fall off my shoulders if I didn't think that was the truth. Like, the only time, I hope he has a tennis court back there as well, and he's just kind of doing his thing because he's a legend.
But
whatever.
I'm looking forward to Monday.
It's gonna be a great show, man.
Yeah, man. To all the listeners, I love these two dudes. They're the best.
Notar,
I don't know a lot about wrestling, so I just, what's left in my heart of it will always remain.
You knew enough. You knew passion, bro.
It will always remain.
Because you talk to a kid today, somebody who's growing up nowadays, about wrestling, and they're gonna tell you about Sheamus. They're gonna tell you about the great Khali, but they don't know who the fuck Andre the Giant was. Or
that's cool. That's why I always like to stay connected to the youth. They can
don't
teach
know who
me.
the Heart Foundation
we can teach them.
Shit.
4 Horsemen. I don't even know who the original NWO was.
Oh, my nasty boys.
Outsiders.
Yeah, the people. If you wear an NWO shirt, but you don't know that Scott Hall has drug problems and fucking alcohol problems, then you're not a true wrestling fan, man.
Tune in Monday. Check these dudes out. Kill it with some real wrestling aficionados.
8 p.m. Eastern time. You already know. ButtonRoach.com.
Yes, sir.
You know you're wrestling. You better fucking call in. 718-618-4497. Thank you guys. Another episode of Button Roach.
Peace.
Once again, another big shout out, PineBox Rock Shop.
Always, Heather and Jeff, you rule.
Yes.
12 Granton Street.